Hello everyone, my name is Alexander Mohamed, a developer of BreazeHome 4.0. The product owner of BreazeHome is Dr. Masoud Sadjadi, professor at FIU. The mentor for BreazeHome is Aaron Fang, research assistant at FIU. This video will cover the Scrum process of creating and implementing user story 2568, adding schools points to the results page map. So let's get started. The first thing that was done was creating the user story in Mingle. All of the user story creation management for BreazeHome is done on Mingle. So as you can see here, we have user story 2568, add school points to the results page map. The description is, as a user, I would like to see the location of schools together with the property points on the results page map to better see the proximity of the schools to the property. The acceptance criteria is show schools on results page map using the schools API added to BreazeHome, school points identified by a specific school marker, and then an information pop-up function to allow users to see specific information about the school, including the name, type, address, grade schools, and ratings. Now if we scroll down, we can see the status of the user story is marked as done because I have completed the implementation of this user story. We also have the priority, which is set to must. Points for this story was set to 50, and the owner of the user story was me, Alexander Mohamed. Once the user story was created, a message was sent to the product owner, Dr. Masoud Sadjadi, and after he reviewed and accepted the user story, he gave the OK to begin development. The first step was creating UML diagrams. I created all the diagrams for my user stories in star UML. After finishing the development of this feature, the product owner decided to move the school points into the property details page map in the neighborhood details section. All other requirements remain the same. So all my diagrams represent the current design of the user story. So here you can see the use case diagram for user story 2568, add schools API to the details page map. The actor is the BreazeHome user. When the user opens the details page, they should be able to see school points in the map. When the user mouses over a school point, a pop-up bubble should appear with information about that specific school. I also created a class diagram to represent the data that is held in the school's API. So here we have ID, zip code, institution name, street address, city, state, type, grade levels, total students, latitude, longitude, and rank. This is modeled off the data that was added to the API root of BreazeHome. I will link a video to that user story in the description below. This schools object was created based on the data that was returned from the Great Schools API. Here we also have a sequence diagram. So essentially, a GET request calls the schools API for the school's data. There is an add schools function that displays all school requests passed into the function. The add to map function calls the add schools method and displays all the schools in the details page map. A mouse over function is also added in order to meet the acceptance criteria of the user story. Once all the diagrams are finished, I had to develop the front end with all the functions previously mentioned. All the development for BreazeHome was done in the BreazeHome virtual machine. So let's log in. And then we can move over to the BreazeHome front-end folders, which is labeled BreazeHome Breeze Desktop, as you can see here. So the first file that I modified was properties.js. In the properties.js file, I added a getSchools function. This getSchools function calls the BreazeHome School API and returns the school's data. In the maps.js file, I created an add schools function that plots the schools points and creates a pop-up bubble with all the schools information in the acceptance criteria of the user story. In the details.js file, I call the getSchools function and get the school's data into scope. I then loop through each school within the scope and call the add schools function to plot all the points on the details page map. This code is wrapped under a show schools on map function. I also created a hide schools on map function so the users have the ability to show and hide the school points as they wish. In the details.html file, I created the front end in the BreazeHome system. So as you can see, I created a schools dropdown that then shows two buttons, show and hide, and connected these two buttons to the functions I previously mentioned. This is the feature on the production site. So a user can click a property they want to view, and then simply click the Neighborhoods tab to be moved directly to the Details map. Now you can see a Schools tab on the left of the map. Users can click it and the dropdown will show and hide buttons. The users can click the Show button and the Schools points will display on the map. If a user hovers over a point, the Schools information from the Schools API will fill in the map so the users can see information such as the name, the type of school, the grade levels, ratings, and address. Users can also choose to hide the Schools point if they will, and then close the Schools tab. Throughout this process, there are many communication documents that need to be filled out during each sprint. There are sprint planning at the beginning of each sprint, a sprint checkpoint meeting at the midpoint of each sprint, sprint retrospective and sprint review at the end of each sprint, and daily scrum meetings every day. These documents are facilitated by Aaron Feng, the mentor of BreazeHome. So as you can see, the days we need the documents, he sends out the document, and then all the developers can go in and write in their contributions. The reason for these documents is to keep in touch with the development team. These documents help the development team connect throughout the progression of the project to let each developer know what feature each person is working on, and if anyone runs into similar problems and can help you out. After development comes the testing phase. Using an automated testing tool such as Selenium, you can test your feature to make sure there are no bugs. I will link a video below on how to use Selenium. In the feature document, you can add all the work you completed on the specific user story. In this document, you have the user story with its description and acceptance criteria that you created. So here we have the user story, add schools points to details page map, the description, and we also added a note that after the product owner reviewed the final implementation of the original story, he decided to move the points to the details page map, hence why we changed the name to add school points to details page map. We have the new acceptance criteria, and then we also have a description of the use case diagrams we created in StarUML, as well as the sequence diagrams and class diagram. We also have the unit testing with the test case ID, a description of the test, expected results, the actual results, and the status of whether the test passed or failed. And at the end of the document, we have a visual user guide to show a visual representation of the progress and finalized state of the user story we were working on. So here you can see in the details page, we have the neighborhoods details map, and we have the schools tab on the side. When it's clicked, we have the drop down to show and hide. If the user clicks the show button, the school points will be populated on the map. If a user hovers over a specific point, a pop-up will appear with the school name, type, rating, grade levels, and address, and the user can simply click the X button to exit or click on the map to exit the pop-up bubble. Once testing and documentation have been completed, you can now integrate and deploy to the production server. On the BreazeHome Wiki website, there's a very comprehensive tutorial for integration. I also have a detailed video on integration that will link in the description below along with the wiki. So these are some of the commands that you need to use when integrating: git pull, git add, git commit, and git push. And basically what you want to do in integration is merging your local code with the current production code of BreazeHome. Be sure to check out the video in the link to see a full detailed description of integration. I hope this video helped you understand the Scrum process I went through in completing user story 2568, adding schools points to the details page map. Thank you for watching.